Hello, welcome to this brief presentation that's going to take you through some key facts about the Welsh Baccalaureate, how it should be implemented properly, and I suppose the key messages that we need to get across to our leadership teams in terms of giving this correct levels of support in schools. So I'll just take myself off the screen and we'll continue into the presentation. So in the first instance, in terms of what the Welsh Bacc is, traditionally, the Welsh Bacc was a series of projects with the key skills that supported them, and that was it in terms of qualification. Well, the Welsh Bacc is obviously much bigger now in terms of the fact that it's going to be a performance measure for all Year 10 learners from 2018, so for Year 10 learners starting in 2016. And what the Welsh Bacc measure will encompass is the English GCSE or Welsh, whichever is the learner's strongest, the Maths Numeracy GCSE, and 3 further GCSEs, which will come from this segment here, of which 2 can be vocational equivalents. In addition to that, then, we've got the core of the Welsh Bacc, which is the area shaded in red up here, which will be the 3 challenges: the Community Challenge, the Global Citizenship, Enterprise and Employability Challenge, and the Individual Project, which will contribute as 4 controlled assessments, which will lead into the award of the Welsh Bacc as a sorry, the Skills Challenge Certificate, which is the core of the Welsh Bacc. So in terms of the purpose of the qualification, it's the key drive here is develop the essential employability skills. So we know that literacy and numeracy will be assessed through the GCSEs, but we're also trying to assess pupils' digital literacy, critical thinking, problem solving, planning, organisation, creativity and innovation, and personal effectiveness skills through those challenges. And as you'll see later on, those skills are assessed explicitly through specific challenges to make it easier in terms of assessment. So in terms of the performance measures information, here's the kind of detail. I suppose the key point for 2017 is that the Welsh Bacc can be used as one of the additional GCSE qualifications, or the Skills Challenge Certificate, which would be the core of the Welsh Bacc, can be used as a supporting qualification in 2017 before it becomes the measure then in 2018. So we have large numbers of Year 10 learners currently starting to study the Welsh Bacc from September 2015, and this the core here, the Skills Challenge Certificate, can be used as one of the additional GCSEs. In terms of the awarding then, at national level, at GCSE level, in terms of the National Welsh Baccalaureate, to achieve the measure for the Welsh Bacc, in addition to achieving the National Skills Challenge Certificate at a grade A star to C level, they also need to achieve English language or Welsh at grade A star to C, GCSE Maths Numeracy grade A star to C, and then a minimum of 3 further GCSE grades, as we know, of which 2 can be vocational equivalents. Failure to achieve any of those elements outlined above will result in the candidate being awarded the foundation level Welsh Bacc, not the National Welsh Bacc award. In terms of how this is then broken down, you'll notice that there's an imbalance between the components. The individual project is the biggest element of the Welsh Bacc. That's 50% of the weighting here, and that will assess the skills of planning and organisation, critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy. That ideally will be developed from the end of Year 10 through Year 11 once the learners have developed the underpinning skills through the supporting challenges, which are highlighted below, which are the Community Challenge, which encompasses planning and organisation and personal effectiveness, Global Citizenship, critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, innovation, and then the Enterprise, which looks at digital literacy, personal effectiveness, and creativity and innovation. In most cases, these challenges are going to be developed through the Year 10 teaching and learning programme as well. In terms of award then at post-16 level, what learners need to do to achieve the Advanced Welsh Baccalaureate is to have achieved the Skills Challenge Certificate at advanced level. They'll still require the supporting qualifications of GCSE English language or Welsh language, whichever is best. They still require the GCSE Maths Numeracy qualification to have been achieved, in order to achieve this qualification, and 2 supporting A levels at grade A to E, or 1 A level A to E plus a vocational equivalent that's at least 300 guided learning hours, and that will therefore become then the Welsh Bacc measure at post 16, which we know is going to be one of the measures used for post 16 institutions. Post 16 again, the 4 challenge elements assess the skills, and the skills that are assessed are stated, and they're then assessed through the controlled assessment. All of the assessments for all of the challenges, both Key Stage 4 and Post 16, are internally assessed within schools, and then externally moderated by the WJEC. In terms of how the skills challenges are assessed, schools have to complete approved challenge briefs, which are available for download from the WJEC website, and once they've got those, once they've downloaded those challenges, if they've been approved challenges, they can complete them. If they are using a generic challenge, such as the one displayed on the screen here, they're allowed to change the text that's in red, but that has to be approved first by their regional support officer before they can complete the challenge. Failure to do that could mean that the assessment is not compliant with the regulations, so that's essential that that's done. But all this information has been provided to schools, to Welsh Bacc coordinators, and they should be used to that approach now in terms of the support that they've had. In terms of the assessment methodology, this is different now. So previously, Welsh Bacc wasn't graded in terms of certainly in terms of a GCSE equivalence with A stars to G grades. What happens now is that the learners are going to be assessed in their challenges with their ability to apply the different skills. And as you can see here, if you look at the language, difference between Band 1 here, limited, Band 2, basic, Band 3, detailed, Band 4, detailed, clear and effective in terms of the standpoint for global citizenship. So you can see that what schools will do when the learners complete their challenge is they will assess against these criteria to judge the bandings within which the learners then fall. We've also been given an indicative or an indication of where the grade boundaries are likely to sit, and we've provided schools with a tracking sheet which demonstrates that in terms of the individual challenge elements and how they may contribute to the final grade. In terms of time allocation then, that's also stated. One of the big challenges we have in schools at the moment is ensuring that they provide sufficient time for learners to complete the qualification, and it's very explicit. The timings are shown here. So as an example, for global citizenship at national level, there are 10 hours of teaching and learning and 10 hours that can be used for generating the evidence from assessment, worth 15% of the award, and you can follow the others across the screen here as well. So for example, at advanced level, 80 hours should be spent on generating the assessment for individual investigation, 40 hours there for developing the underpinning skills to support it. So post 16, I suppose a key figure is this. There should be at least 270 hours of supervised contact to complete the qualification, with up to 90 then being used in terms of the learner's own time at the institution's discretion. But in terms of GCSE level, 120 guided learning hours is equivalent to one GCSE, so learners should have the same amount of time in terms of teaching, learning and assessment that they would have in any other GCSE. What WJC have also done is they have now produced a delivery handbook which talks about how and sort of outlines very clearly how schools should work through the challenges. So starting with the skills development, okay, this is an example here from the community challenge, the steps that schools would need to take in terms of developing the teaching and learning through to completing a mini challenge and then doing the challenge assessment. Really good practice would be for the schools to do a mini challenge for all challenge elements in order that the students can practice the skills that they need and then complete the final assessed challenge at the end. There are hundreds of resources that have been developed to support the Welsh Bacc. These are being revised in light of some changes to some of the assessment that have come through in the last couple of months. All resources are available from this web link. This has been shared with all Welsh Bacc coordinators as well. And you'll also have a series of questions that we might ask the head teacher as some model answers in terms of ensuring that they have got a robust model in place, and if not, what they require to do in order to make sure that this qualification is effectively supported. So that's brought us to the end of the video. Hope that was useful. A quick 10-minute run through there of, I guess, the key elements that we might like to consider. Yeah, thanks for hanging on and listening. Hope it was useful. Any questions, please drop me an email, james.kent@sewaleseas.org.uk.